When Italy beat Wales to claim their first win against a Tier 1 nation since the 2016 victory over South Africa, it was also their first win in the Six Nations since 2015. It was a down-to-the-wire thriller where a burst of individual brilliance from Ange Capuozzo saw the Azzurri take the win against a shocked Welsh crowd at Principality Stadium. This time, however, it was a proper, hard-earned match with a clear victor. Although Italy will be getting all the plaudits after this game, we also need to talk about Wales, who are also on the up. Having held on in defence in a way I don't think we'd have seen this time last year, this current Welsh side are looking a heck of a lot stronger than when certain compartments were part of their team. So how did Wales hold off this brilliant Italian comeback? Let's find out in this deep dive into one of the most interesting Six Nations matches of 2023. Let's get into this. Well guys, me and every other pundit who was believing Italy was going to win this one, we were wrong. Kia ora, my name's Max and I'm the host here at the Black Jersey. I believed Italy was going to win this match, but Wales, we have to give credit to them for really just holding it out on defence after Italy got a late comeback attempt going. The first half, it's something that I think Italy do need to work on, whereas Wales did a really good job at building an early lead. As we'll notice throughout the footage analysis, Gatland has approached his return to Wales by restoring the basic skills of the game to his players, which was something they totally lost under Wayne Pivac. It starts off in the 5th minute as the Welsh pod takes a proper shape on Italy's 22-metre line rather than floating around or disconnected. With Jones as the head of the pod, Francis on his left and Morgan on his right, Wales are going to be far more dominant at the breakdown and concede far fewer turnovers by taking such a shape. Although neither player is connected to Jones as he takes the ball into contact, the highlighted circles demonstrate to us they're in perfect field position to remove jackling options from Italy's defence. However, they don't have to bother as Nicotera is off his feet and has his knees on Jones' shoulder. Francis and Morgan still put themselves over the ball under advantage just to ensure that Webb has clean ball. As we cut to the wide shot and see Webb looking to pass off to the blind side, we also see some positive game behaviour from Italy. Although the Welsh are under advantage, Italy ensure that every Welsh player on the blind side is marked with a clear 5-on-5 to shut down any kicking opportunities that could arise for Hawkins in the pocket behind Adam Beard. Italy also have 5 defenders in their main line over on the open side, while Allen is in a great position from 15 to cover a line break on either side. By committing fewer numbers to what I'll describe as a lost cause breakdown, Italy are able to ensure that the Welsh advantage results in fewer points. We can see further evidence of this with Bruno clearly defining himself as marking Adams, ensuring nobody can run onto the chip kick by Hawkins. This wee sample of the match shows positives for both teams, though Wales of course have points on the board thanks to Owen Williams' penalty goal. Though covering the space in behind wasn't easy without Ange Capuozzo, I truly believe that Italy have nailed a set structure for their main defensive line. They aren't just trying to one-man team it anymore like the Sergio Parise days, they're doing a phenomenal job in researching the opposition and communicating as a team. Now let's look at how Eduardo Padovani's defence could work so well. We see Wales in the shape of a set of dominoes with Williams at first receiver, while he has 3 teammates in behind and Jenkins as a clean-out option. As the arrows demonstrate, this can allow for a nice spread of attacking options in a broken defence line, but Italy hold their line and remain patient. They don't rush up like a 2017 team, they drift forward as a group covering both Williams and Jenkins, the only realistic option to cross the gain line from this position, as passing to Jenkins will guarantee a turnover for Italy. Williams probably takes the right option by going out the back to Grady, but with Adams still in behind Grady, Wales are aligned in a hands down the line position that only Super Rugby fans still think is innovative. With the arrow outlining the only possible direction of a pass from Grady, Brex knows exactly where the ball is going. Not only that, Grady won't have enough time to kick once he receives the ball. Brex is able to fly straight in after his team drifts, while he has Padovani on his outside to cover a pass to Italy and Williams. Although Brex falls off Grady's shins while attempting to tackle, this allows Italy time to cut off Grady's outside options, and now that Brex has slowed him down, Padovani is on the front foot and can smash Grady backwards. Wales do an amazing job to recover these lost meters though, quickly putting some backs into the ruck. Although Italy have spread out wide on the open side very efficiently, Reece Webb has spotted a gap in behind and sends the ball flying over with a box kick. With Pierre Bruno rushing towards the ball and Tommaso Allen out of frame, Wales have the chance to score. The ball bounces perfectly for Rio Dyer, who is over for the first try of the match. Italy's attack, however, was not on the same level as Wales in the first half whatsoever. Paolo Garbezi's collection of a high ball sees a hands down the line play that forces Nicotera straight into contact to recycle the ball. As Varney goes wide off the breakdown, we can see Italy's attack still readjusting after the previous ruck, making it pretty obvious to Wales who is taking the ball. They don't believe Michele Lamaro's dummy line for 1 second. With Varney looking well behind himself, Webb sprints up to shut this attack down. Allen loses the ball forward at the ruck with an attempt to gain more meters, backfiring. Nicolo Canone is brutally exposed for not guarding the fringes of the ruck by Faletau, who picks the ball up. Having been given the space to go forward, Faletau makes the most of this 4-on-3 overlap by sucking in the midfielders, creating a huge overlap out wide for Grady, Adams and Williams. As forwards, including me, aren't very good passes, it does go to ground, but Williams recovers the ball and has all the space in the world to sprint through, beating 3 defenders and scoring using his pure natural talent. With Lorenzo Canone yellow carded for taking out the Welsh maul, Wales head into halftime with a convincing lead of 22-3 after the penalty try is awarded. Now let's have an examination into the halftime stats. Now to discuss the halftime stats, Wales definitely knew that Italy were going to try and break the line a heck of a lot. They did a really good job of the cover defense, and the 49% possession reflects that they were really just trying to shut down a lot of Italian opportunities, while they did have 52% territory, so it was a bit half and half in regards of what was going on the pitch. The running stats though, Italy were definitely doing pretty well. They were getting quite close to Wales for meters run, they beat more defenders, made more clean breaks, and they were distributing the ball out far wider with 89 passes and 7 offloads. The Welsh though, they really just made a nuisance of themselves at that breakdown. There were a few times where the Italians didn't release, and we can also see 3 turnovers for Wales, while they were really just making an effort to get those kicks out of the way and prevent Italy from having the territory to put those points on the board that they've become so good at doing. As we can see though, this cover defense does affect the Welsh tackling stats. It was just 79% at half time, whereas for Italy it was 86%. We won't discuss the goal kicking for now. Ruck success, similar to each other. Both teams are looking pretty quick from breakdown to breakdown, so a huge credit. That's one of the reasons why these teams are improving so much, as we saw through the analysis of the first half. The line-out as well, it's starting to become a real strength for Italy, which feels unusual for me to say considering it was never really one of their strong points. The penalties though, Italy did give away more penalties, which really helped the Welsh claim that 52% territory over the Italians. That includes 4 inside their own half, 4 inside the opposition half, and of course the yellow card that we've gone over. Let's get into analysis on the second half so that we can explain why the score margin ended up looking so different at the end of the second half. We get ourselves towards the 42nd minute, and Italy, however, aren't out of the contest yet. Kieran Crowley's halftime fury has fired the players up as we see some truly glorious rugby. While I don't really appreciate what he said about the referees in his post-match interview, he was completely correct on the stuff Italy had to do better in the first half. We see an uncommon pod structure of 2-1-3-2 as Garbezi looks to take the ball from first receiver before Garbezi goes wide to what suddenly seems to turn into a 5-man pod. Fischetti crosses the gain line as 3 clean-out options look to ensure front foot ball. Ferrari and Nicotera are forced to get over the ball a little late though, courtesy of Daffer Jenkins holding Fischetti up temporarily. Although Italy don't get the front foot ball that they planned in the game plan, Wales are spreading out a little too much here. They've got 12 defenders on their feet in a flat line compared to 9 Italian attack options in frame. This isn't too bad. Wales are holding this pattern a little bit too close to their try line, however. Italy are able to recycle the ball for 5 more phases thanks to the Welsh miscommunication and the shift out of their usual cover defense defence starts. Before we see this initial flatlining of the Welsh defence totally backfire, Italy have done a great job at disorganising Wales, having given Allen the space to kick in behind. Allen is here while all of the space he has available is here. As Dyer is caught totally off guard, Sebastian Negri of all players dots down for the first Italian try. Wales aren't taking their foot off the gas just yet though. After Bruno is yellow carded for Italy, we skip forward to the 50th minute. The lineout which proved crucial for Wales in the second half is won by Tipuric, before Italy are surprised to see Morgan detach immediately and pass. Here we see the only remaining reason to utilise a crash ball centre in Test rugby, as Mason Grady uses his frame to power over the gain line. Wales then revert to the three-man diamond-shaped pod as Gareth Thomas makes his lone carry of the game. Owens and Baird get over the ruck unbelievably quick, though their front football initially looks to be wasted by such a stagnant attacking structure. Nico Terra, in a pretty bad game though, is totally caught off guard as Reece Webb snaps the defence line in two with a quick scope sniping run. Italy's one-man backfield cover totally backfires, as although Allen has the pace to run back and tackle Webb, it's a halfback in open space who will always look for the support. Talupi Faletau turns up for the support line and makes a mockery of Italy's backfield cover in the same way Italy previously did to Wales, by grounding the ball completely unmarked in his 99th test for Wales. I don't think there's much analysis needed for Italy's second and final try, but it's a really nice piece of teamwork we'll still definitely highlight. Alessandro Fusco does a brilliant job drawing in defenders after he collects the ball from the scrum, before skipping past Luca Marisi's dummy line to distribute for Bruno. Bruno looks for options after being tackled and doesn't give up, with Juan Ignacio Brex, Italy's best performer, going over to get a try. Though the Italian fans got pretty excited, Wales did a great defensive job at set piece to keep this 29-17 margin as the final score. Let's have a look at the full-time stats to see what story they'll tell us about the game. That our late Italian comeback attempts, we can really see they had a great crack at it through the possession and the territory stats, both of which are now in Italy's favour, as we can see courtesy from my stats attained from Ultimate Rugby. Italy ran far more metres in the overall match as well, which really goes to show the Welsh did a pretty decent job of shutting down the comeback attempt, with 524 metres compared to 343. Wales could possibly do to play a bit more expensive rugby as the year goes on, whereas Italy, obviously it's a huge strength for them, hence why we're seeing such a huge amount of good attacking stats. Italy, they continued to get that ball going a bit wider as well. 182 passes. Freak show, man. The turnovers though remain in the Welsh favour, though we can also see that comeback attempt from Italy in the form of them getting a few more turnovers with a count of 3 going up from 1, I think it was at half time. Obviously you'd seen it before, but now we get over to that tackle percentage. The Welsh tackle percentage has got a little worse, as we can see. It's gone down to 71%, so I don't think that cover defence works quite so well when you've got some more tired bodies, whereas obviously we need to respect Italy for getting it to 84%. Great work from them. Not the best goal kicking in the world either. Owen Williams had a pretty good game, but he does need to probably keep it up a little bit higher, as that leeway given by his 2 misses could have opened up the opportunity for that Italian comeback to actually happen. For example, they could have won the game through 2 more converted tries. The lineout though didn't quite go in the Italian favour in that second half. Wales used the lineout as a real strength to get themselves out of jail, whereas the ruck success though, Italy were able to dominate that a fair bit more than Wales, with 98% compared to the Welsh 92%, hence why we're seeing so many more metres with ball in hand for the Italians. The scrum also probably wasn't the best for Wales in the second half either, whereas we see the penalty count looking a little bit more even this time. The disparity isn't huge aside from another yellow card to Italy. Overall, I think this is a real positive for both both teams rather this game. Both of them are indeed on the up, so I want you guys to tell me what you think about the progress they've made in the comments down below. To end the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all my patrons for the ongoing support. You guys are awesome. Please sign up to my Patreon if you're keen to continue supporting me, if you enjoy my content. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to me either. You can also support me over on Instagram, Twitter, and my opinion journalism website. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you later from Max.